So after using this device for over 2 months, off the bat I'll say that the S23 Ultra is really good and almost perfect, but it's overkill for most people. So let's dive into the S23 series and find out why. Welcome! Today we're going to dive into the highly anticipated S23 series while going deeper into the S23 Ultra. But before we get started, bear with me while I quickly give you an overview of the physical and technical specifications of the S23 Ultra. Throughout the video, I will compare the key differences between the S23 Ultra and the S23 Plus, the regular S23, and its predecessor. So let's get to it. The S23 Ultra boasts a large 6.8-inch 1440p Edge QHD Plus Dynamic AMOLED 2X display. And the display is also a LTPO display, which offers an adaptive refresh rate ranging from 120Hz to 1Hz and has a peak brightness of 1750 nits. That was a mouthful. The front of the phone features a hole punch cutout for the 12 megapixel selfie camera, and the display is HDR10 Plus certified. And moving to the back of the phone, it features a quad camera setup. The rear cameras include a 200 megapixel wide main camera, a 12 megapixel ultra wide camera, and two 10 megapixel telephoto cameras which provide dual 3x and 10x optical zoom capabilities. And of course, we can't forget the super resolution zoom. It can go up to 100x digital zoom, which is more usable compared to the previous models. Moreover, the phone has optical image stabilization (OIS) and laser autofocus. Regarding storage, the S23 Ultra is available in 3 options: 256GB, 512GB, and 1TB, but it lacks expandable memory via microSD card. Like last year, the phone comes with a massive 5000 mAh battery. More on the battery later. Lastly, we can't forget the included S Pen, which is a signature Samsung Note feature. Now, for context, let me tell you about the deal I got for this phone. Samsung had a crazy promotion which I could trade in my Samsung Note 20 Ultra, which I had already replaced a broken screen with a defective screen, and get $800 in trade-in value. In addition, for free, I got upgraded to the 512GB version of the phone and the Samsung Buds 2 Pro earbuds. And I got the 45-watt power adapter for roughly half the price, since the S23 Ultra and the S23 Plus supports up to 45-watt wire charging. All of this cost me roughly 900 Canadian dollars, which I think was a steal. One of the biggest improvements in the Samsung S23 Ultra is the battery experience. Thanks to the optimized Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 processor, this phone rivals the last year's battery champ, the iPhone 14 Pro Max. I had an option to get the S22 Ultra last year, but I decided to wait for the S23 Ultra for a whole 6 months because the battery life of the S22 Ultra was average, and for a heavy user like myself, it would mean that I would need to constantly reach for a charger. So I'm happy that I waited because the battery life of the S23 Ultra is significantly better. 2 thumbs up from me. By the way, if you're enjoying this video, consider giving it a like and subscribing. It really helps support the channel and helps YouTube share this video with others. The camera on the Samsung S23 Ultra is also significantly improved. Without geeking out on the specs, the pictures are super crisp and very reliable. And the videos are solid and freakishly stable for a phone. I was going to buy the S23 Plus model because I prefer a flat screen on the edges. But since I use the camera a lot, literally to make YouTube videos, I had to compromise the flat screen for an insane camera. Plus, Samsung's 200 megapixel image sensor with advanced pixel binning technology takes crisp 50 megapixel photos with lots of detail. It's important to mention that the S23 Plus and the S23 replaces the 200 megapixel sensor for a 50 megapixel sensor and loses one of the 2 telephoto cameras. But from my testing, the camera is still very good. Speaking of the curved screen, the S23 Ultra screen has a slightly less aggressive curve, which was welcomed, but most people won't notice the difference. It's also worth mentioning that the phone gets super bright. I'm someone who would always keep my phone on max brightness all the time. but this is the first phone that I would often reduce the screen brightness, not to mention the extra bright option, which is insanely bright. Practically, the screen is very easy to view outdoors. So if you watched my previous videos, you know I love using magnets. So for my last few phones, I have been sticking a metal ring to mimic the iPhone MagSafe around the wireless charging area. But nowadays you can get cases for Samsung phones that are compatible with MagSafe. I would definitely recommend picking one up, as it opens your phone up to many MagSafe compatible accessories. I have also mentioned in the past that I love many of the customization features that Samsung has to offer. One of the things I would definitely recommend for any Samsung phone owner to do is to install Samsung's Good Lock app. This app allows you to customize the look and feel of your phone, including the lock screen, quick settings, and even the navigation bar. But it doesn't stop there. With Good Lock, you can really make your phone feel like it's yours. Have a look at it for yourself. Also, do check out Samsung DeX. It's a game changer. I highly recommend it. Now, let's talk about the size of the Samsung S23 Ultra. As someone who loves big phones, I'm really happy with the S23 Ultra. The screen is huge and it makes watching videos and playing games really enjoyable. However, for most people, the S23 Ultra is overkill. If you're an average user, I would definitely recommend the S23 Plus as a big phone and the S23 as a more compact option. You are downgrading slightly in the camera department, but still getting a high-end camera. Also getting a less boxier design with a smaller battery for a smaller screen. And lastly, you will be losing the S Pen, which isn't the end of the world. In fact, I even encouraged my dad to get the S23 Plus over the S23 Ultra, and he's really happy with it. But for me, the S23 Ultra is perfect as I do a lot of work on my phone, and the big screen really helps me stay productive. Plus, I love taking photos and videos, and the camera system on the S23 Ultra is top-notch. While I stand behind my recommendation that for most people the S23 Plus is the way to go, for me, the S23 Ultra is the perfect phone. Overall, if you're in the market for a new Samsung phone, I think the S23 series is a great choice. Whether you go for the S23 Ultra, S23 Plus, or even the S23, you're getting a high quality phone with great features and performance. And with Samsung's Good Lock app, you can really make your phone your own. If you enjoyed this video, smash the like button and leave a comment and share it with others. Thank you for watching and don't forget to subscribe. Later.